Hello everyone, I'm still alive. For those of you who don't know, I recently went on a trip to North Carolina. I got back last week. I've just been kind of lazy, been doing other stuff here and there, so I haven't been on yet. But I am still here. And for those of you who follow me on Twitter, you might have heard or read that I had a very scary, terrifying plane ride back home. Um, First of all, like I flew into North Carolina the day the hurricane was supposed to hit North Carolina, so already I was like, what am I doing? Like my plane wasn't canceled though, so I figured they know what they're doing. Maybe. So I guess it's okay. It was safe. So I did get into North Carolina, and I didn't actually witness the hurricane because where Blake and his dad live, well, I flew into Raleigh, which was far enough away from the coast that they didn't really experience a lot of, the hurricane stuff. And where Blake and his dad live, they weren't hit. They just lost power for a little bit, actually like 14 hours or so. But I didn't experience any of it because the day I flew in, we actually drove west into Asheville for the weekend. We were supposed to go to Washington, D.C. that weekend. Didn't end up happening because, Washington, D.C., they were blocking the roads and all that stuff to go up there. So we ended up driving west into Asheville, which was gorgeous, very, very cute town, up in the mountains in North Carolina. Very, very cute, pretty town. I had a lot of fun. So I, again, did not experience any of the hurricane, which it would have been my very first hurricane because I live in California and we don't have hurricanes. So it would have been interesting to be able to say that I lived through a hurricane, but at the same time it was nice that I didn't have to worry about it too. And I feel my heart goes out to those who do have to deal with that and are currently dealing with it with whatever damages they are facing. Yeah, they were out of power for a while in some areas, didn't get power back for a few days. So I had fun. But then on my flight back home, again, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably read my tweets. I don't know if you did or not, but I tweeted about it. I had a very scary experience on my way back home here to California. I flew from North Carolina into Atlanta, and that plane was delayed, so I was like rushing to my next plane, and then Atlanta to San Francisco, which was my final destination. Um, Ironically, final destination like the movie, because my experience kind of reminded me of that. It was okay though. An hour into the flight from Atlanta, the captain gets on the overhead speaker and says, "You know what? We lost cabin pressure. We're gonna have to go down in altitude." And I'm thinking, oh, not that big of a deal. He seemed really calm about it, like, oh, easy fix, like go down a little bit, cabin pressure, bring it back up before we can go on. So I didn't think that much of it. And so we start going down, and I don't know if you guys know, but the closer that you get to the ground, like, um, the more turbulence you feel. So I thought that was normal, but it was like the worst turbulence I've ever felt. Like it was really, really choppy. That and the day that I flew out was actually the day that the storm was supposed to hit Georgia. Again, amazing timing on my part, right? But I didn't know. I guess the East Coast just didn't like me. They're trying to get rid of me. Either that or they're trying to keep me there. I don't know. But yeah, so the turbulence was really, really bad. It started getting really loud outside and everything. All of us were just kind of bracing ourselves. It was kind of scary. It's never fun to feel that stuff. Like on a roller coaster, it's all good, but on an airplane, it's definitely very scary because you're just up in the air. You don't know, nothing's gonna catch you. All of a sudden, he gets on the loudspeaker again, and he's just like, "Oh, we're gonna have a little bit of turbulence, blah blah." And then we're kind of looking around. Everybody's a little bit like nervous. You know what's going on. All of a sudden, like from the ceiling, the oxygen masks come down. And I'm like, at this point, like, what the heck is going on? I look at the girl next to me. There's like a space between us, and then the girl by the window, and I'm at the aisle, and I'm looking at her, and we're looking at the mask. Like, what do we do? Do we put these on? Did these fall down on accident? Like, what's going on? I look around. Everybody's kind of doing the same thing. We don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, the captain gets on the speaker again, and they're like, "Put your oxygen mask on. Everybody heads down." Da da da. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is for real. And at this time, we're like trying to remember what's going on. Like this I've only seen in movies or in the little clip that they show at the beginning of the flight to go over like safety procedures. So I'm like freaking out. Grab the mask. I'm trying to remember, what am I supposed to do? Put it over my head. It's really loose. I'm like, oh, you have to tighten it. They showed this in the movie, so I'm like tightening it, and it's still really, really loose. It doesn't stay tightened. So I'm holding it, and I'm looking at the girl, and like she's freaking out too. I look at the row like right next to me, the aisle over. Um, on our same row. We just have an island between us. Their oxygen masks actually don't come down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's so scary. Like I can't imagine what they're going through. They're like freaking out, looking around, trying to get the little latch open so that it could fall down, but they couldn't get it open. Luckily, each row is equipped with 4 oxygen masks instead of 3 because there's 3 seats, but they actually give you 4, I guess, just in case. So they got one from the row before them, or in front of them, and row behind them, but one of the passengers still didn't have one. I was like, oh, I was gonna actually tell him like, I'll scoot over and you can take the other mask, but it was too late. Like the attendant had like whisked him away into another seat, and like it was very scary. And the attendant was actually, when this was happening, he was in the middle of the aisles like ready to pass out drinks, and then when the captain had talked, or when the voices come on saying, you know, get your oxygen masks on, seatbelts on, heads down, he like ran backwards with his cart back into his little area, and like it was scary, like you could tell. And then the other flight attendant from up front, like she was running to the back, and they were like, you know, that's the first time that's ever happened to us. You know, they train for it, you know, all the time, but first time that's happened in real life. So it was definitely very scary. The girl next to me actually turned to me and she's like, can I hold your hand? I'm really scared. And I'm like, yeah, of course. I hold her hand. I've never met her. We don't know each other. I don't know her name, but we're both like freaking out in this moment. So holding hands, I'm praying. I grab my Bible, I start reading my Bible, and I'm just like freaking out a little bit. But at the same time, back in my head, I knew I was going to be okay. It was going to be fine. But I guess it's not like the gravity of the situation. It doesn't matter like how serious it is. It's how you feel in that moment. And for me, it was definitely like almost like a near death experience where it was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know if we're going to land safely or not. Obviously, we did. I'm here in one piece. Thank God. Very, very thankful for that. Definitely. So yeah, so I made it back safely. We did have to turn around, and then they had another plane ready for us, which it was kind of like, are you serious? Like, you want me to get on another plane like after that just happened? So yeah, they did try to make up for this by giving us a meal voucher that we could use anywhere in the airport. And then when it printed, I'm like, oh, excited, like, oh, we can go eat wherever we want. And we look at it and we're like, it's $6. Like, really? At an airport, it's $6? Not gonna get you anywhere. So I was like, really, Delta? Couldn't have made it $10? Like, most of the meals at McDonald's are like $10 or so at the airport. Yeah, but again, I'm just very happy and thankful that I'm okay. So a little update for you guys there. I am still alive. But yeah, so my trip was very interesting. Like I said, had a lot of experiences that kind of would have scared the average person away, but I'm okay. And I was just really happy to see Blake. I actually get to see him this weekend because we're going to be doing some wedding planning and all that stuff. We are thinking of getting married in January. It is almost the middle of September. Yeah, we're crazy. Less than 4 months to plan a wedding is not ideal, but that's what we're thinking right now. So we'll do that this weekend, and then actually next week I'm flying into Seattle with my dad. Me and my dad are going to Seattle because Blake is actually in Seattle right now for work. And he's going to be there for the next 3 weeks, and that's, you know, fairly close to California. I mean, closer than North Carolina is to California. So me and my dad are going to fly out to Seattle for the weekend. There's stuff that my dad wants to do up there. He wants to see Bruce Lee's where he's buried, I guess, before they move him. I think they're supposed to move him to Hong Kong or something. I don't know. But my dad is a big Bruce Lee fan, so he wants to go there and see it while it's over there. And I'm just excited to see Blake. So yeah. So that's about it. It's good to be back. And I will hopefully be doing videos soon. I have a couple reviews to be doing too. So look out for that. I hope you guys are doing well, enjoying your summer. I know most people are back in school already, so hope you guys are enjoying that. But other than that, hope you guys are doing well. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.